It's on 710. Meanwhile, the Orioles have started the trading. They've traded their right-handed reliever Brian Baker to their AL East rival Tampa Bay today in exchange for the 37th overall pick in the 2025 MLB draft. A sign that one of the most disappointing clubs in baseball will be sellers at the upcoming trade deadline.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
Welcome, everybody. It's Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710, seattlesports.com. Happy Wednesday. What is today? Wednesday? Thursday? What is it?
I was just thinking that same thing.
Yeah, I think it's Wednesday. No, it's Thursday.
Thursday.
It's Thursday.
Oh, it is Thursday. That's right, because I put out my garbage last night.
There you go.
That's the way to tell. Not a calendar or your phone or a watch.
Already, Matt, coming after you. He's already annoyed with you.
Your string.
What day of the week is it?
He's already annoyed with you. I love it. I love it. We're going to take you up to the Mariners pregame show coming up at 3 p.m. Before that, you're going to hear the Raleigh Show, the latest installment of that in a matter of moments. We'll have Jon Morosi with us coming up at 2:30, so stay tuned for him. He'll make us all feel better about what's gone on in the Bronx because none of it's been good, Dave.
You think he's going to make us feel better?
No. I think he's going to try.
I think he's going to try.
I just, in looking at how this whole thing's set up, it just, the Yankees they had lost 6 of 7. They lost 6 in a row. I think they took the final game against the Mets.
They got swept by Toronto in a 4-game series.
I mean, they were scuffling, and then they come in here and they just put it on the Mariners. And it was a rough start, to say the least, for Logan Evans. Bullpen gave up a couple of runs on top of it. Julio with a blunder out in the outfield that was really costly. And then the icing on the cake, the offense struck out 14 times, and they were going up against a guy making his major league debut. Yeah. It just, come on, man. It was just maddening. So they remain 6.5 games back of the Astros, who are doing their part. They're losing.
Yeah.
They were swept by Cleveland. They've lost 3 in a row, and you've gained a half a game. You're 6.5 games back, and now you look at the Red Sox. They've won 6 in a row, so now that 2.5 game lead you had on that third wild card spot is gone. You're now tied with the Boston Red Sox for that third wild card spot.
Yeah, and we had enough to do looking at the Astros schedule and worrying about that. To now all of a sudden the Red Sox coming around and maybe their plan there. They've got a young roster there. They're starting to come into play. But yeah, I mean, I was thinking about it. Last night after the game, that does this change? Can they even do enough in, before the All-Star break as far as the trade deadline? Can they do enough? Or, certainly always the question is, will they? But can they do enough to get up to the caliber of where the Yankees are? Because we talked about this. They have 5 or 6 guys that are hitting over 250. It's like you can get production from that lineup anywhere almost.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, and it was very unfortunate. Logan Evans, he was a question mark. That one was always kind of up for grabs. The most disappointing one is that really it was just the rain delay, because I think Logan was on his way to
he was dealing.
Yeah, he looked so good, and that's really, I think, we'll see what happens today, but I think we're going to look back on that series as that being very disappointing and just not able to take advantage of a guy. And maybe it'll piss off Logan so much that, the rest of the way, he's going to be like he was before the rain out, just dealing. But, yeah, it's that part. I think we're going to look back on that series and go, yeah, that's a shame. Kind of expect it from Logan Evans just because he was a question mark, young guy. But
yeah,
Logan, that one was really disappointing.
The whole game kind of was. I mean, that was disappointing the way that ended. This game was disappointing because it was just, despite everything that went wrong, it was a sloppy game. Again, defense, the striking out 14 times. You still scored 6 runs, and you lost. You scored 6 and you lost. You're going to win most of the time when you put up 6 runs, but yeah, it's yeah, there were a lot of things that didn't go well in this, and the Julio error was a rough one because that really hurt. You had key guy. I mean, it was a tough night for Cal. He was 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. It was, it was cool to see Cole Young get his first.
How about that?
First big league home run, so that was pretty cool. And Rosarena with another home run. That's a good sign. Yeah. But yeah, we really wanted to see some momentum going into this All-Star break, and talked about taking at least 3. At least split this road trip. You got 6 games, take 3 of them. Now they're going to have to hopefully get this last one. And you against Stroman, who's really been struggling, and you got your guy, Brian Wu. This is the one you should get.
Yeah.
And then hopefully you can take 2 of 3 from the Red Hot Tigers and feel good about things going into the break. We'll see. We'll talk more about that. But right now it's time for the latest installment of the Cal Raleigh Show.
Winding pitch to Cal, swinging a drive. Way out of here to right field. Cal Raleigh with a home run.
He's the best catcher in baseball, and he's on Seattle Sports Thursday afternoons all season long on Wyman and Bob. It's the Cal Raleigh Show
Presented by the Puyallup Tribe of Indians.
with Mariners insider Shannon Dreyer.
Cal, here we are. We're getting ever closer to the All-Star week. I see you've got the new haircut. What's your week going to look like? What do you know so far about what's going to happen once the game ends on Sunday?
I don't really know, honestly. Obviously, Derby's on Monday, game's on Tuesday, and not really looking too far ahead. So we still got 4 more games to worry about here. Finish up strong in New York and go to Detroit and play a good team there. So.
What are you looking for in these next few games?
To win. I mean, just you got to finish strong going to the break, and obviously a big second half coming. We got some work to do, and just kind of end on a good note against some tough teams, and try to put ourselves in the best position possible. So,
how important is kind of that final push into a break?
Yeah, I mean, it obviously will help kickstart. Obviously leave you with a better taste in your mouth than obviously losing, ending on a bad note. So. But obviously it'll be a different half, and we'll be focusing on the next part of the season to come, and focusing on that and trying to win. So
we've started to see the starting pitching, I think, get back closer to where it's been when it's healthy. How would you evaluate where, say, Logan and George are right now in their seasons, and what you're seeing from them?
Yeah, I mean, throwing the ball well. I think, obviously George starting to hit his stride a little bit, starting to get a little more comfortable. So I'm going a little deeper into the game. So it's a positive. And I thought Logan threw the ball really well the other day. Obviously, the rain delay kind of messed them up a little bit in that sense. So, it was a tough break, and a couple pitches here and there, and I thought he could easily had given up 0 to 1 run. So. Just gotta take advantage of some pitches in certain situations, and go from there.
We've seen him get a lot of swing and miss, but we've also seen him kind of get into the longer at bats. What do you think he needs at that point to kind of end that a little bit sooner? It seems like the stuff is all there.
Yeah. I mean, it's just a couple pitches a game. It's in the sense of getting beat on a few pitches here and there, and. He's just got to be able to execute. That's what it comes down to, just executing. And when you leave the ball up to some good hitters, you're going to take advantage, and that's what kind of this league will do to you. So it's just got to be a little more understanding of that and just execute a little better in those situations with runners on. And besides that, stuff still looks sharp and good. Just like I said, just comes down to a couple pitches a game, and when they come, you got to understand and just got to do whatever it takes to execute.
When you come into this building here in New York, what do you think when you look out at the field?
There's a lot of sponsorships everywhere, so.
You should hear the broadcast.
Yeah. So, I mean, Yankee Stadium, obviously, short porch and right, and, obviously they usually get pretty good crowds here, and they got the whole thing going, so. Kind of similar to the old Yankee Stadium a little bit.
You went to the old Yankee Stadium as a kid?
Yeah, my dad took me right before right before it closed, about a month and a half before it closed. So I think it was 2008, 2009, somewhere around then.
What do you remember about that?
Yeah, I mean, I remember him wanting to take me, wanted me to see it before they tore it down, and it was a quick trip. You know, we took a quick flight, flew in that day, went straight to the game, you know, and then flew back right away. I don't even know if we were there for 12 hours.
Wow.
About 12, maybe less than 12 hours. So it was a quick trip, and you know, I remember he let me skip school to go see it, and it was really cool.
What other parks did you visit as a kid?
Boston, New York, Baltimore, Atlanta, Cincinnati. Yeah, I'd say those. Tampa Bay. I remember seeing that one time. So, yeah, those are the parks that I went to see.
You got some good tours there. That's outstanding. Do you look at Aaron Judge any differently now that you're hitting home runs and you're matching him a little bit more? And
no, I mean, he's a great player, and you know, he does a lot of really good things, and obviously a great leader as well, being a captain over there. So, you know, I have a lot of respect for him and his game, and he's you know, he goes about it the right way.
I like the way he goes about things. Let's get back to the All-Star game. Have you thought at all about who you're going to be catching? You're probably going to get a couple innings in there. You could see a couple of different arms.
Yeah. I mean, you know, some of the best in the world, so it'll be fun to catch them and get a different perspective and talk to them a little bit about what they want to do. So, you know, we'll see. Whoever's in there, it'd be kind of cool to catch Wu too as well. So hopefully we can do that as well.
Might get Scooble.
Yeah, maybe.
What would that be like? I mean, what do? You go up and, hey, I kind of know what you've got. I faced you. How's that going to go?
I don't know. I mean, you know, we'll see. So hopefully I get a chance to do that. It'd be pretty cool. Obviously, it's fun catching guys who are really good. So, you know, we'll see what it's like, and I'm sure I'll have more answers for you, you know, after I get done. So. Are
you just kind of in a daze about all of this that's coming up right now?
No, I mean, just trying to, you know, focus on the right things right now, and obviously very excited about the opportunity and the week. It's going to be a lot of fun, and we're going to be very. I'm going to try to get as much in as I can and take it all in, and you know, from there we'll be excited to do.
What do you think Brian Wu is going to take from this?
I don't know. I mean, hopefully the same thing I take from it. You know, try to talk to some guys, enjoy it, take it all in, maybe get the experience of getting out there on the mound during the game. So, you know, I think it'll be great for him to be around, you know, some of the best in the world and to talk to them and pick their brains and, you know, just enjoy that moment with him and his family. So.
Hey, when you get to the park, your routine is different. We don't see you hit on the field very often. What do you do leading up to, say, meetings time? What are the things that you have to get in before then?
I mean, it just depends on the day. You know, some days I am hitting on the field, some days I'm not. It just depends on, you know, what the schedule is and, you know, where my body's at, et cetera. You know, today, obviously, we're not taking BP on the field, so, you know, it's just changes every day, and just really just it's really just about getting your body ready for 7 o'clock and mentally prepared, and you know, you obviously hit, you do all those other little things too, so just to get yourself ready to play.
But how many minutes on average do you think you spend in a batting cage?
It varies, you know, some days are a little more than others, and you know, but I try to keep it consistent around the same time and doing the same drills, and like I said, trying to be as consistent as possible.
All right, I want to end with a couple more questions from fans. We missed a couple that were very important to somebody, and I hope you'll play along with this one. It is Dave on Eastlake, and he may be one of the hosts of the shows that this is running on. I missed him. I'm in huge trouble for this, so we're going to need some good things here. The first thing he'd like to know is he's heard all about the card games that are going on in the clubhouse. What are the card games that are played, and do they play cribbage?
We have played a lot of cribbage in the past. I mean, I love cribbage. This year, there's not as much cribbage going on. There's more, you know, I'd say Boo-Ray's a big game.
Okay.
AC-Doocy, you obviously got Hold'em and different versions of it. Pluck, Spades. It kind of just rotates, depending on, who's playing and how many players you got. There's a lot of different card games. So
I found out that some of the younger players have been playing the Nintendo with J.P. Crawford on the road. Are you a video game guy?
Yeah, when I can, I try to do as much as I can, but there's definitely more guys that play. There's a lot more guys that play more than I do. So when I get a chance, just been super busy, so it's been hard.
That's loud overhead. Also, Dave from Eastlake wanted to know that we've heard a lot of things about players kind of taking a look at reports and things and picking up things off of YouTube or articles that kind of break down what they do. Have you ever taken something from an outside source like that?
From YouTube?
Yeah, or from an article that somebody was breaking down a swing or anything like that?
No. It's usually best not to listen to the internet, so.
All right, I kind of suspected that was the answer. The last one, Desert Island, you can take 2 teammates. Who are you taking?
That's a good question. Desert Island, take 2 teammates. Oh. Maybe, I need somebody resourceful, so, shoot, I don't even know. Do you have a suggestion?
Really? Maybe Luke?
Yeah, you could do Luke. Luke and maybe, you go Luke and let's get somebody in there that you wouldn't suspect. Maybe Jorge Polanco. Yeah, there we go.
Wait, Polanco for what? You're bringing him why?
I don't know. I feel like he'd be a good guy to have around.
That's outstanding. Okay. All right, resourceful and good guy.
Yeah,
there you go, Dave from Eastlake. Hope you appreciate it.
There you go, the latest edition of the Cal Raleigh Show, which is presented by the Puyallup Tribe of Indians. And nice episode, except for those dopey questions from whoever Dave on Eastlake is. I mean, who's Shannon talking to, man?
Listen, it could be anybody. I mean, there's probably 30 or 40 Dave on Eastlakes.
Probably, at least.
That all care so much about Cal Raleigh.
I thought it was just going to be Dave on Eastlake wanted to just let you know he loves you.
You know what's funny? He was talking about cribbage, obviously, and Shannon plays cribbage, and she said something about her and I squaring off at some point. The cribbage championship here at the station. But I used to play Boo-Ray all the time. I could not tell you how to play that game.
I've never played it, so I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly how that goes. I think I would pick it up quickly, but when I went to Denver and we played Boo-Ray, and it was usually Shannon Sharp, I just fleeced him. I mean, I made a lot of money that year for back then. Anyway.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so I was just curious about that. But the question about the, looking at stuff on YouTube, the one thing, I guess what I was...
He dismissed that one. He's like,
yeah.
No.
But what I was, what I asked basically is that, like, and Shannon did fine. It was just that I wonder if he looks at, like, we had the one guy, Petriello, that came on, and he's talking about Cal's swing and everything, and and I was wondering, like, does he ever look at that stuff and just go, that's not what I'm doing. This guy's way off. Because they break everything down, and they had, remember the little stick man video they had, and he's getting out in front of the ball faster, more bat speed and all this, and yeah, I would think that it would just be like, no, it's in my head here, and that's not exactly what I'm trying to do. But anyway, but yeah, and then the Desert Isle question was like, you want somebody who's resourceful, right? If you're stranded on a desert island, you want somebody that's
not going to drive you nuts because you're
that too.
You're around him 24/7.
Exactly.
That must be why he didn't mention Logan.
Logan.
Logan and his ukulele.
That's right.
Yeah, so maybe that scared him straight. I don't know. Hey, a reminder, if you miss any part of the show, you just want to go watch things again, you can check out our Wyman and Bob channel on the Seattle Sports YouTube page. You can search Seattle Sports, Wyman and Bob, Bob Stelton on all social media platforms like Instagram and X and Blue Sky and Threads, all that good stuff. All our conversations are up there, including on the YouTube page, our conversation with actor Jeremy Piven. We played the first part for you yesterday. You're going to hear part 2 tomorrow, but you can see it in its entirety. See the video of it on the Wyman and Bob channel on the Seattle Sports YouTube page. Let's take 2.
Well, the Red Sox, they're hot. They have the longest active win streak in baseball. They've won 6 in a row. They're tied with the Mariners now for the final wild card. So for scoreboard watching, they start a 4-game series with the Rays tonight. The Astros are off tonight. They host the Rangers for 3 starting tomorrow.
I'm glad Ian's not here today. That insufferable little guy. that would have been a rough go with the Red Sox doing what they're doing. Again, they're just right below the Astros for me in terms of sports hate. Can't stand the Red Sox. Yeah. So trailing the Astros by 6.5, now tied with the Red Sox for that 3rd wild card spot is just brutal. And they got to get it. They got to get it turned around. You can't. I mean, that 3rd wild card spot is obviously your easiest access to the postseason. So they got to figure out a way to get 3 of the next 4 games on this road trip before the All-Star break.
Yeah, I guess not surprising. The AL East has got 4 powerhouses basically there. Maybe the biggest surprise is that one of them isn't the Baltimore Orioles.
Yeah,
and that in your update you were talking about them being hopefully being sellers going into the trade deadline. So
they're looking that part.
Hopefully that's the case. We talked about O'Hearn, their first baseman. But, it sucks with the Red Sox all of a sudden in there. They got a plus 55 run differential. Tampa Bay is a really good team as well. But, yeah, it's annoying having we're paying attention to what the Astros are doing, and now we have to pay attention to the horrible Red Sox. And you're right, I'm glad Ian's not here today.
Well, Brent Rooker has officially entered the home run derby field, and in the write-up, kind of interesting, he's hit the 9th most home runs in baseball since 2023. Now 7 of the 8 spots have been filled in the field.
So they're waiting for one more.
One more.
Yeah. Have any speculation as to who it may be?
People are throwing Julio's name out there. He's put on a show the last couple of years.
Normally we would just go, oh man, you don't want to mess up a swing or anything. Maybe it helps him.
Yeah, see that?
Maybe it helps him lift the ball. He's beating the ball into the ground. Maybe he did have another double last night, which was good, and he lined it. That was good. So back-to-back games with a double, baby steps.
Yeah.
But maybe just being in that mode of just trying to hit the ball out, lifting the ball, maybe that would do something for him. I don't know. I wouldn't be opposed to it, I guess is my long-winded way of answering this.
In 23, when he was in the competition, is that 2023? I think he had the most home runs. I think he ended up losing.
Yeah, he didn't win.
Yeah, but I would think that would be the one guy that maybe that would help him, right?
I wouldn't be against it right now.
Same. Yeah, we're looking for answers.
Yeah, maybe that's it. Take Two is brought to you by Swedish Cyberknife. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish Cyberknife. Swedish.org/cyberknife prostate. We'll see what our guy Jon Morosi thinks about this recent Mariners stretch. He's going to join us next with Wyman and Bob at Seattle Sports on 710.
The season of Cal continues.
And the next offer on the way to Cal, swinging a drive, deep to right field.
Big dumper is in the Derby.
Goodbye, baseball.
Like, what if Cal was doing this for the Yankees and Judge was doing this for the Mariners? Who's the MVP then?
Hear Cal Raleigh in the Home Run Derby, Monday afternoon at 5. Live from Truist Park in Atlanta. Only on the home of the Mariners. Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, it's Bob Stelton here, and let me tell you about one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. That's when I went to K2 Vision for RLE. That is Refractive Lens Exchange. Now, if you're like me, you're somebody that had a hard time reading small print. You had readers in every room of the house like I had, in my car even. If I went into a restaurant without them, I was out of luck, man. I needed to have somebody read the menu to me and tell me what the receipt said. Or maybe you're on the other side. Distance is hard for you. Whatever it is, K2 Vision RLE could be your perfect and, more importantly, your permanent solution. And here's the icing on the cake. You're never going to develop a cataract. K2 Vision RLE is quick. It's painless, and I am seeing great now without readers. Again, I can go into a restaurant and actually read a menu. It's amazing, and it's been something I've dealt with for a really long time. So all those readers have been put into a drawer. It's a game changer. RLE is the answer. I'm so excited to spend good active years not needing those readers. And K2 Vision RLE gave me great vision that is permanent. The doctors at K2 Vision RLE have performed over 150,000 lens procedures, so they know their business. They know when RLE is right for you. You can schedule your free Zoom consultation today at k2visionrle.com. Check it out, totally free. See if you're a candidate. K2 Vision RLE. No readers, glasses, contacts, or cataracts. That's k2visionrle.com.
Hey, it's Mike Salk here, and we've been talking about this. Luxury awaits at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. You can book now for an unforgettable summer experience because the hotel opens up August 8th. Bookings are open at snocasino.com starting on August 8th. The expanded non-gaming floor, the destination spa, the big new entertainment space and convention center, new restaurants as well. They're combining effortless style with the utmost in relaxation. Go to snocasino.com for details. Seattle's closest, now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here from my friends at PCF Group, or People Come First Construction Group, and that's exactly what they did when we made the call a couple years ago. We wanted to redo our outdoor space, wanted to add a deck, an outdoor living, a television, and a kitchen, and PCF Group, wow, they more than delivered. And if you're interested in building a stunning outdoor area like we did, I cannot recommend them enough. Reach out before the good weather arrives, and their schedule, well, it's going to fill up. So whether you're looking for a complete outdoor living space or a very specific project like an underdeck ceiling, deck, patio cover, railings, PCF has you covered. Design now and pay later. In fact, get 12 months, no interest and no payments, and up to $6,000 off and a $1,000 Amazon gift card. Request a complimentary design and estimate consultation at 425-629-8476 or project ideas. Explore photos at pcfgroup.com. That's 425-629-8476.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
The home of the Mariners.
It is gone! Cal Raleigh, two-run home run!
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, it's Dave Wyman here for Swedish Cyberknife, and we had Andy Ryder. He's the mayor of Lacey and a Swedish Cyberknife patient. We had him and Dr. Landis from Swedish Cyberknife in studio a little while ago, and a couple things that really stood out about Swedish Cyberknife treatment. Number one, it only takes 5 sessions. Andy was able to complete treatment in 1 week, Monday through Friday, while continuing to work full-time, and each treatment session lasts less than an hour. So he's able to remain comfortable during treatment, wearing street clothes, didn't experience many side effects other than just being a little bit tired. But if you compare that with other treatment methods for prostate cancer where you have surgery, you have to have a catheter, I mean, it's night and day difference with Swedish Cyberknife. Also, it's really cool to see the relationship between Andy and Dr. Landis. Andy holds him in very high regard, and rightfully so. Dr. Landis, he's a multiple-time recipient of the Seattle Top Doctor Award. And we talk about on this show all the time building a sports team and trying to find stars and superstars. Swedish Cyberknife truly has that. It's an all-pro roster of doctors and world-renowned experts in their field, just like Dr. Landis. So Swedish Cyberknife, they treat patients from all over the state, and you don't need a physician referral. You can reach out to them directly. So if you've been diagnosed with prostate cancer, go to swedish.org/cyberknife prostate. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish Cyberknife.
Matt Cooker here from West Coast Men's Health. Guys, Viagra is not the answer for your problem. I know you think it is, but Viagra has horrible side effects, and for most men, the longer you're on it, the less it works. Viagra is not a curative medication. It's not fixing your problem. It's a Band-Aid for a shark bite. Acoustic wave therapy is the newest technology that can correct your problem, not just treat it. We can do something that no pill can do. We can restore your blood flow naturally. Get off Viagra today. Change your life like the thousands of men who already have, regardless of your age or your medical history. If you're tired of dealing with Peyronie's disease or erectile dysfunction, then call West Coast Men's Health today.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
This hour is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital Common Sense Lending.
I've never heard a person walk out of the stadium and say, wow, I wish that game would have included more weighting.
He is an endless source of baseball and hockey knowledge.
José Berríos, el lanzador de Puerto Rico en el Clásico Mundial de Béisbol.
Jon Morosi, every week with Wyman and Bob.
You're being serious with me right now?
Oh, we need this guy today. We need his positivity. We need that smile. Look at him.
There it is.
Look at him.
I feel better already.
I already feel better. All right.
Yeah.
Jon Morosi is with us each and every week. We love the conversation. He's with us on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. How are you, my friend?
Outstanding, my friends. You've got Brian Wu on the mound tonight. You don't need me right now. You got Brian Wu.
Well, on the heels of those first two games, John, it was, we were riding high. I mean, they had 3 shutouts in a row over the Pirates, back-to-back games of 1-0. The pitching was just out of this world. Offense, okay, wasn't stellar, but they won. And then they go up against a Yankee team who had lost 6 in a row, and 6 of 7. They were scuffling, and all of a sudden they look like the Bronx Bombers again when the Mariners get to town. And it makes you feel like, all right, did the Mariners take advantage of a weak team in the Pirates, and now we're seeing what they're made of against a good team? Or how do you contrast the two?
This is what happens when the team is average. And that's what I think the Mariners are. Now, they still can get better as the season goes along. But when we ask the question, why are they now, despite a very auspicious start when it looked like maybe the division would be theirs for the taking, why are they now tied for the last playoff spot in the American League? And I think it's exactly what we're describing here, is that on their best days, they can beat anyone. And on their worst days, they can lose to anyone. Now, the Yankees aren't just anyone. They're still a really good team themselves. They had a really rough stretch, and you knew they were going to get well at some point. And, of course, the Mariners have been on the unfortunate end of that equation. So this is life as a fringe playoff team in the American League. The Mariners, for me, they still do not hit well enough top to bottom to consistently beat good pitching. And that is what the test becomes. Honestly, it's the kind of team that the Yankees still have. They're really reliant on Aaron Judge, as we know. But you look at the teams that are leading their divisions right now in the American League. The Astros, they've got a pretty good top-to-bottom team. The Blue Jays, what they've been able to do. The Tigers, they have an excellent top-to-bottom team with a guy who's an all-star, Javi Baez, batting 9th for them. That's what a first-place team looks like. The Mariners right now are not that. They have potential, but I think this last series against the Yankees, of course, leading into now, it's going to be a pretty tough series against the Tigers, show why this team is exactly where they are, which is clinging to the final playoff spot in the American League.
I don't know, JP. I'm not trying to push the panic button or anything, but then I was started thinking, can they do enough at the trade deadline? Because you just look at, the Yankees up and down. I mean, there's 6 guys hitting over 250, and they just have mashers all the way through their lineup seemingly. And it just made me think, man, can they even really do enough trade-wise to bring the offense, I don't want to say up to Yankee level, but somewhere near that and win?
They can if they're sufficiently motivated. And I think this is where the next few weeks become really important. They don't have to necessarily be in first place by the end of July, but you need to show the front office something that this team is worth adding to. So whether that ends up being more contributions from even a younger guy like Young, Williamson, they've obviously had to rely on some younger players along the journey here, but they need to show you more from guys who are not named Cal Raleigh, that they belong in the conversation and that this roster is worth sacrificing some talent to upgrade. Now, I want to draw your attention to one part of the farm system here. You've got Colt Emerson, he's at Everett, and then you've got Felton Celestin, who's at Modesto. Two shortstops who are both 19 years of age. They're one level apart. They're kind of similar in terms of how they're regarded within the farm system. And you do wonder, and I'm of the mind here that shortstop is usually the position that you want to have a lot of, because sometimes they move off that position. And that certainly has been the case where at times the guys have adjusted and moved elsewhere off of shortstop. Emerson a little bit, but he's played a lot of shortstop, obviously, in the minor leagues this season. This becomes the question, and where I see there being some tradable depth. You've got Emerson, Young, Celestin, all are middle infielders, all roughly the same age. Again, Young's already in the big leagues. To me, you could probably trade one of those three. And we have seen them in the past. Noelvi Marte, of course, was part of the deal when they brought back Castillo. That type of a transaction, this team has made before. And it looks to me like their tradable depth, unless it's Harry Ford potentially. Obviously, he's probably not going to be the catcher in Seattle anytime soon. So you start to look around and consider different options. Ford is probably the guy from a depth standpoint the Mariners can most likely part with, just because of Cal's presence. But again, you got three middle infielders, all roughly the same age. They can't all play shortstop at the same time. And I do think you have to make the difficult decision on which one you can trade and which guys are really part of the future. And so I'm sure if I'm a team that's selling a bat, whatever it might be, maybe I'm the Diamondbacks looking through the organization, I'd be paying very close attention. Emerson, Young, Celestin, to see who potentially could be the one that they move.
Who are the, I guess outside of the Rockies and the White Sox, who are the obvious sellers? Because we've talked about, especially in the American League, everybody feels like they're in it. They're within a couple games, so we feel like we're a player away. So they're not going to be dealing their chips, so to speak. Do you feel like that's going to get ironed out and there's going to be a lot more sellers in the next week or two? Or do you feel like everybody's going to go up to that deadline feeling like, no, we're in this, so the group of sellers is going to be significantly smaller?
Bob, you asked that question with a very important word, which is obvious. How many obvious sellers are there? The Orioles are an obvious seller. I would say I would add them to that list. Ryan O'Hearn is someone that we've talked about before. He's going to be an all-star corner bat, first base DH. I think he would look great in a Mariner uniform. The other guys you consider at the third base position, Eugenio Suarez, of course, familiar to Mariner fans because of what he did in his first tenure as a Seattle player. The Diamondbacks are a little below 500, and I do think that they are more likely to sell than buy. But the question becomes, how aggressively would they do it? They've got Suarez, Gallen, Josh Naylor, all of whom you could argue are fits to varying degrees for the Mariners. And the Diamondbacks and Mariners have frequently traded in the past. I think of those guys, I would probably say Suarez is the best fit, maybe Naylor a secondary fit. And as we've talked before, even though the rotation has been and remains a strong point for the Mariners, I would still like to add one more arm just in case. I'm not saying I would add Gallen's more than a just in case arm.
Yeah.
But there are guys out there that I think the Mariners could add that would give them some insurance against potential injuries over the final 2 months of the season. So I do think that the Diamondbacks, they're not the most obvious seller, Bob, but they are the one that I think is the most intriguing for the Mariners, because I think both their corner bats would help Seattle.
Yep.
And then if they're one strained ligament away from Gallen being a really important guy potentially too. So stay tuned on those different scenarios.
Hey, I know this has been thrown out there quite a bit, and I thought it was a pretty clever way to look at it. Is like if you put Judge on the Mariners and Cal on the Yankees as far as the MVP race goes, no question that, everybody's going to just appreciate the heck out of what Cal does, right? I mean, it's absolutely going to be Cal Raleigh, right?
Well, that's a great question. I would say that there is maybe that Yankee mystique and that focus on that particular franchise. But I also believe that the description that you offer there is not necessarily going to be determinative. There were years, obviously, when Trout won the MVP and Ohtani won the MVP, when the Angels were an afterthought in terms of the larger picture of the American League. So I don't think that it's necessarily the impediment that it would have been 25 years ago. And I'm not voting this year. I just got my assignments. I'm going to be manager of the year and rookie of the year, which I'm excited about. So I can opine freely on this one and not have to cloak my true opinions at all. I can permission to speak freely here. But I think that the first half MVP, if you were to look at the first half MVP, I would likely give it to Cal, because I just think that production at that position is so extraordinary and historic and something we've never seen before that it is special. And you take Cal away from the Mariners, they're nowhere close to a playoff team. And again, if you take Judge away from the Yankees, you might actually probably say the same thing. I mean, they may still be somewhere in the conversation, but the Yankees are the Yankees because of number 99. There is no wrong answer here. I think it's apparent to me that they're 1 and 2 in some order. It's not exactly a shocking statement to make. But so I would say, in a narrow vote, if I had a ballot in front of me right now for the first half only, I would say Cal is number 1 for me and Judge number 2. But you look at the second half, and one area of concern, I guess I would say 2 areas of concern. Number 1, the Yankees are right now a better team than the Mariners. And if you are a voter who does take team success into consideration in some way, shape, or form, again, it should not be the number 1 thing. But if you believe that a player is the reason why his team made the playoffs, I tend to give extra credit for that. Winning is valued in this game. I think winning is important. This is an individual contribution to a team award. And so I do consider the context of the team. It is in no way, shape, or form, I'll be clear about this, it is no way a binary, oh my gosh, either they're in the playoffs or they're out of the playoffs, and that determines if I vote for a player. That's not what I'm saying here. But the context of the team's success is important and has been important to me when I have voted for it. That's just how I look at the game and how I look at the award. That being said, Cal and the performance of the Mariners right now they're close enough. It's not as though, oh my gosh, the bullpen blew 1 game in May and it takes Cal from being the MVP to not. That's absurd. They're in the conversation. They're there. They're a playoff caliber team because of Cal. And the Yankees are a playoff caliber team because of Judge. Mm-hmm. And Cal's defensive value is so unique that I do think that is the determining piece. But if the Yankees go on, let's say, to win their division and the Mariners miss the playoffs entirely, it becomes a little tougher. Right now, of course, the Yankees are a wild card team. But if the Yankees win the division and Judge has his massive second half and Cal slows down a little bit, which, by the way, basically every catcher in the history of the game slows down in the second half because it's just that demanding, and the Mariners slump and they miss the playoffs, it's probably going to be hard to vote for the overall electorate to vote for Cal in that circumstance. So yeah. I'm just giving that little warning. But right now, if I have a ballot in front of me, Cal's my choice.
Jon, you're the man. We appreciate you, my friend. Have a great rest of your week, and we'll do it again next week.
Sounds great. I'll give you an even more definitive vote once all the first half games are done. Once I get a chance to watch Cal play against the Tigers this weekend, then I'll have even more intel for you, okay?
Can't wait. Can't wait. Thanks, Jon.
Looking forward to it. All the best, guys.
There you go. The great Jon Morosi with us each and every week. Always an awesome conversation. If you missed any part of it, you can find it after the show at seattlesports.com. Meanwhile, there's one encouraging development for the Seahawks at a key position on defense. We'll tell you what that's about coming up next. It's Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710.
Tuesday, the All-Star Fantastic Four.
Holy smokes!
Andres, Brian, Julio, and Cal.
Number 34 for the big number.
Hear the Mariners All-Stars in the 2025 All-Star Game. Tuesday afternoon at 5. Live from Truist Park in Atlanta. Only on the home of the Mariners. Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
It's beautiful summer weather outside. That is motorcycle weather for me and a lot of my friends out there. And luckily to this point in my riding career, I have not been in a crash. And I know that's not a matter of if, but when that happens. But knocking on wood, hasn't happened to this point. But if it has happened for you, and if you've been injured in a motorcycle crash, here's what you do. You don't settle for firms that say they're motorcycle lawyers. You trust the ones who actually live it. That's Law Tigers. They've been a part of the riding community for nearly 25 years nationwide. They're there 24/7, 365 days a year because riders deserve real support when they need it most. Law Tigers is the resource riders can turn to when they're in need. And you see them at all the events. You see the tents. You see the vans. They're out there supporting all the clubs, all the shops. The Law Tigers are always by your side. In your case evaluation, free. There are no fees until your case settles. They don't get paid until you get paid. So you never ride alone with the Law Tigers. Law Tigers, Washington's motorcycle lawyers. Jimmy Cook, 539 Broadway, Unit 104, Tacoma, Washington, 98402.
Since time immemorial, the Puyallup tribe of Indians have lived on what is now called Puget Sound. The Puyallup tribe is a sovereign nation of more than 6,000 members and one of the largest employers in Pierce County. Today, the Puyallup tribe continues to serve its members and community with generosity and is committed to building a sustainable way of life for future generations. Learn more at puyalluptribe-nsn.gov. That's puyalluptribe-nsn.gov.
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, Accurate Auto Body.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, Accurate Auto Body.
Keeping your engines healthy means protecting them in season and out. Experts trust Stable to do that. And third-party testing confirms it. Stable is the industry leader in preventing fuel-related issues, no matter if you use it in your car, boat, or outdoor power equipment. In season or out, at every fill-up or when you store, start with Stable.
With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, you get coverage options based on how much you want to pay for car insurance. And then you decide how to spend the rest of your money, because you're in charge. Today, you're going to pay down your credit card bill. But you decide when you'll pay it. Before the due date, so those interest charges don't get you. But you decide if you pay it in full. But you definitely should, because again, interest charges. With Progressive's Name Your Price tool, we'll help you find coverage at a fair price. And then you're in charge. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Not available in all states. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
Big Trees is Washington's premier tree sales and transplant company. With over 30 years of experience, Big Trees provides trees of all sizes for residential and commercial projects. Our 30-acre nursery features thousands of trees and hundreds of varieties that thrive in our Pacific Northwest climate. For hours, directions, and to see our wide selection of trees, visit BigTreeSupply.com.
Beauty, privacy, instantly. Big Trees.
The home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Cal swinging a drive, deep to right field.
Every pitch of every Mariners game is on the Seattle Sports app.
Everyone always asks me, what were your top reasons for choosing Advanced Hair? Well, allow me to share, along with some details, on, get this, their once-a-year summer savings event. Okay, first off, Advanced Hair stands by the results, and I'm living proof those results are second to none. With Advanced Hair, your own natural hair is guaranteed to grow. Secondly, Advanced Hair combines top-rated physicians with modern technology, creating a concierge quality experience that blew away my expectations. And lastly, Advanced Hair's Advanced FUE begins regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. It is quick, simple, and easy. Now, if you have a flexible schedule this summer and you've been waiting for that special savings opportunity, well, it's here. Advanced Hair's Summer Savings Event will get you the most hair for your dollar. It's their best offer ever. For details, to schedule your free consultation, call 425-449-8185. One-day treatment, life-changing results. Your new hair is guaranteed to grow. Before and after pictures at advancedhair.com.
Crank up the hits and bring on the boom. It's 80s fireworks night at T-Mobile Park. Get ready for a totally tubular show on Friday, July 18th. Presented by T-Mobile. The Mariners face off against the division rival Astros at 7:10. And after the game, the sky will light up to the sound of your favorite 80s jams. Big hits on the field and more big hits after dark.
Grand slam! Julio takes it deep and clears it off.
Mariners baseball, fireworks, and hair metal? Sounds like a rad night. Lock in your seats now at Mariners.com and check out what else is on deck at the ballpark this summer, including 3 straight value games against the Brewers, July 21st through 23rd, and the next Mariners fireworks show on August 1st.
Goodbye, baseball. He does it again. Home runs in 3 consecutive games. Cal Raleigh, the big dumper.
Mariners baseball. Tridents up.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Wyman and Bob.
Weekdays 2 to 7.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Our thanks to Jon Morosi, who joined us in the previous segment. In case you guys are just tuning in and missed that conversation, you'll be able to find it on the podcast page after the show at seattlesports.com. Meanwhile, we've been going through these top 10 lists that ESPN have been doing position group by position group, and just they've been giving their best 10 players at that position group. And so far, we've gone through, 3 different position groups, and there's been one Seahawk that's made it in Leonard Williams. And they've had running backs, they've had defensive tackles, and what was the first one?
Running back. So edge rushers.
Yeah, edge rusher, that was the other one. Yeah, so to this point, one Seahawk. Well, that's changed. There's another Seahawk that's made the list as they've done safeties. And at number 10, Julian Love. How about that?
Yeah, I love it. I mean, Julian, he's really kind of an underrated player. And you know what? He's been that guy his whole career. I mean, when he was with the Giants, the first 3 years, first of all, he's a 4th-round draft pick out of Notre Dame. But his first 3 years, there was Antoine Bethea, Jabril Peppers. The next year it was Logan Ryan and Jabril Peppers, and then Xavier McKinney. He had all these safeties starting in front of him, and he wasn't really playing that well. Or not that much, I should say. But then, he became a special teams captain, and he's just a great leader. And the Seahawks signed him before the 23 season.
23, yeah.
Yeah, and he's just done a great job. He's been really good. He's been very productive, and yeah, he really is. I think he belongs on that list.
He's only 27. I feel like he's older.
Yeah,
like he's just been around for a long time. But yeah, he's 27 years old, so he's entering his athletic prime, and he's already had 2 nice, solid seasons for the Seahawks. And he seems like he's a great voice to have in that locker room as well. He's just seems very cerebral. He just seems like a guy that's a leader.
Yes. Very mature guy.
And it's cool to see him get that acknowledgement, from a national perspective.
Right. Yeah, I agree. And, the fact that he was, buried behind all those guys in New York, and he just kept a good attitude and was like, okay, I'm going to be special team champion. Or, I'm sorry, special team captain. And then,
he's a champ too.
He's a champion too. But yeah, then he got his chance, and it's been great. He's playing his tail off.
Yep. Signed initially a 2-year, $12 million deal in March of 23, and then signed him to a 3-year extension worth $33 million.
Yep.
So he earned it, and good to see. All right, that does it for us. Want to thank Jon Morosi for joining us on the program. Also, the Cal Raleigh Show happened. You can find all of it on the podcast page after the show at seattlesports.com. Coming up, Game 3 between the Mariners and the Yankees. Brian Wu on the hill for the Mariners, looking to salvage a game in this series, going up against Marcus Stroman. It's coming your way next. Have a great night, everybody. We'll talk to you tomorrow with Wyman and Bob, Seattle Sports on 710.
The season of Cal continues.
And the next offer on the way to Cal, swinging a drive, deep to right field.
Big dumper is in the Derby.
Goodbye, baseball.
Like, what if Cal was doing this for the Yankees and Judge was doing this for the Mariners? Who's the MVP then?
Hear Cal Raleigh in the Home Run Derby, Monday afternoon at 5. Live from Truist Park in Atlanta. Only on the home of the Mariners. Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger, Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Progressive knows when you're on your boat, you're already on vacation. And Vacation You forgets all your worries. Vacation You doesn't even keep track of time and knows that time is a meaningless construct designed to control us, man. But Regular You knows you don't want to be too far out in the water after the sun goes down because Vacation You doesn't know how to navigate in the dark yet. Vacation You and Regular You really need to get on the same page. So bundle your boat with your home or auto policy and earn an automatic discount from Progressive. And spend the savings on the both of you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here for my friends at PCF Group, or People Come First Construction Group, and that's exactly what they did when we made the call a couple years ago. We wanted to redo our outdoor space, wanted to add a deck, an outdoor living, a television, and a kitchen, and PCF Group, wow, they more than delivered. And if you're interested in building a stunning outdoor area like we did, I cannot recommend them enough. Reach out before the good weather arrives, and their schedule, well, it's going to fill up. So whether you're looking for a complete outdoor living space or a very specific project like an underdeck ceiling, deck, patio cover, railings, PCF has you covered. Design now and pay later. In fact, get 12 months, no interest and no payments, and up to $6,000 off and a $1,000 Amazon gift card. Request a complimentary design and estimate consultation at 425-629-8476 or project ideas. Explore photos at pcfgroup.com. That's 425-629-8476.
Hey, everybody, it's Bob Stelton here. Let me tell you about one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. I went to K2 Vision for refractive lens exchange. Now, I'm somebody who struggled with up-close vision. I couldn't read restaurant menus. I couldn't read receipts. I couldn't read the text on my phone. I had this crazy large font on there. I put the readers away. I went to K2 Vision, and I'm actually reading some of what I'm saying to you right now. I couldn't do that before. It's amazing. So if you're like me, you struggle with distance vision, or you always need a pair of glasses, K2 Vision RLE is quick. It's absolutely painless, and I am seeing great without glasses or readers. RLE is a game changer. I'm excited to spend my good active years not needing reading glasses. K2 Vision RLE gave me great vision that, more importantly, is permanent. The doctors at K2 Vision have performed over 150,000 lens procedures, so they know when RLE is right for you. Schedule your free Zoom consultation today at K2VisionRLE.com. K2 Vision RLE, no readers, glasses, contacts, or cataracts. That's K2VisionRLE.com.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners,